Hello, ladies and gentlemen. As always, I'm your host, AirsoftAL, and, well, I've been to do this for a while now, a simple Armory update, and because currently some rifles are kinda out of the Armory at the moment, preparing for a game that's coming up to Sector 9, well, I thought I'd go ahead and kind of talk about the pistols I have, my sidearms. So, let's just go ahead and kind of break down the non-blowbacks before we get into the blowbacks. So, yeah. First one's the carbine kit. To be exact, it's the totally MP5 or MP7 we have at home. And, yeah, this is basically the Umarex, I have no freaking clue what the hell, TAC kit, that's what it was, TAC TAC kit. Comes with this really cool folding grip. It can accommodate a variety of, like, pistols, including non-blowbacks and blowbacks. However, I kind of am missing a charging handle for one of them. But, yeah, basically this thing can do a lot, including, ironically enough, Smith & Wesson M&P series of guns. And again, this is actually kind of a cool little thing. The iron sights are kind of really low to it, but again, it's just one of those things. And it can also do Glocks, from what I've seen. So if I really wanted to, I could throw a Glock in this thing and basically be like, ah! But the threads on here are for, ironically enough, from what I've seen, they're for Mac. Basically the big honking suppressor, the Mac suppressor. So yeah, if you do actually get the extended inner barrels for a lot of gas blowbacks, it will go past this right here, so you actually can use the thing right there, which, again, it's not that bad. It actually is still pretty cheap, like under $40, I think, is what this TAC kit goes for. And again, it does fit the little Umarex pistol that's in here, the one that you all know, that we've all seen. It's actually still somewhat reliable. I did a review on a long time ago, actually. Again, it's not that bad, but moving on to the next pistols. Another Umarex product. I've got a couple of Hater revolvers right here. Pretty good, pretty fun. Might take these out more. Might not. I don't know yet. On the more smaller side of a non-blowback, I have a Derringer right here that leaks like a son of a bitch, so I kind of gotta figure out what's going on with that. So yeah, this is technically just a little wall hanger, or, you know, something to kind of just have. Yeah. A non-Umarex product, I have, of course, the Black Ops non-blowback, which sadly a lot of these non-blowbacks that take the stick magazines, I kind of got to get those magazines again because those things are kind of, yeah, but this one's actually kind of nice. It's actually really good, pretty fluid. It's legitimately really fun. I actually do enjoy this, and again, it's not that bad of a little non-blowback. It's cheap, it's affordable, and it just works. Like, it legitimately just works. Two Umarex products. We have, of course, the Ruger P345, which, again, we don't really see any of these in blowback on the airsoft market, which is kind of a shame, I'll be honest, because I would love to actually have a Ruger P series of, like, handguns in airsoft. They are actually pretty fun, a little bit just nostalgic, honestly, from a era of firearms development that was an interesting time. The other one, of course, is a Metal Gear Solid staple. It is, of course, the USP, the HK45. It is a lovely little non-blowback. You could actually 3D print a threaded barrel and basically have the Tokyo Marui Mark 23 if you wanted. Again, it's not that bad. It's CO2. Most of them are CO2. And again, it's a very fun little thing. And this one actually can go in the TAC kit. So, yeah, if you wanted to have a gas blowback, you know, just HK, you can have that inside the TAC kit, which is kind of fun, honestly. But moving on to now an AEP. Now, of course, we're going on to one that actually has a kit on itself. This one was actually acquired from my friends over at Sector 9 in a trade, and that is the SEMA, totally not Glock 18C, the one with the fire selector. And this is not the magazine it came with. We had to buy these extra. It's not a full combat load, and the battery itself is kind of, yeah, we're going to be getting a better battery for it, honestly, so I can actually run that. But basically, it has the SEMA tactical kit on it, as well with a threaded barrel on there, because, of course, I want to run tracer units, I want to run cameras and stuff like that. But that's not all I'm going to be doing with this thing. I'm also going to be putting one of those rails on here to where it basically It's got more rails, so it just goes over the thing itself. That way I can just have the power pack, the run cam, just a lot of stuff on here, as well as one for like a grip. I just want to go as ridiculous with this as humanly possible, is what I'm saying. And of course get a battery that actually will hold a charge. So, yeah, moving on. Another one which, of course, I'm going to be doing a review on in the future is the Excalibur by Wingun. It's a Slovakian little thing. Double single action thing. Is a half blowback type deal. And, yeah, Wingun's actually one of those companies that actually makes really cool, interesting, and, dare I say it, realistic style of handgun replicas that actually do function like their real steel counterparts, especially with the decocking and making it safe. The system works, it's actually kind of cool, and again, sadly the magazine in here is a non-blowback magazine, meaning that it's not going to get the blowback action, but that's fine. It's just one of those things. Either way though, moving on. Another Wingun in the collection, we have of course the M87. This sucker is based off of a real Beretta target pistol, and it is still kicking, and it is actually really fun, I'm not gonna lie. It's a interesting little single action target pistol, and very sci-fi, very cyberpunk, and has actually been used as a cyberpunk gun in a game where it claimed it was a 50 caliber pistol, even though the M87 actually was a 22 caliber target pistol. And this is one of those few times where we actually do have a 22 in airsoft, and it is actually very snappy, very fun, very, very good. And yeah, moving on. Another Wingun system. This one was actually a trade, and that is of course the CZ 75 PO7 duty pistol. It's basically half blowback. It works off of the same type of Wingun system as, of course, you know, the other that actually uses the Wingun system. The magazines are actually really interesting, I'm not gonna lie. And yeah, this is actually kind of cool. I've only got 2 magazines for it. The plan is to actually, much like with the SEMA, get actually full combat load magazines, basically, you know, more magazines so I can actually run this in a game. It is a single action only handgun, which is kind of sad because the Excalibur is a double action handgun, so yeah, but I do like it. It's definitely interesting. It's a lot of fun. I cannot wait to actually finally get some gameplay footage with it so I can actually do the full review on it. And I may use the system where, you know, I'm able to basically have a rail over it, you know, to kind of run cameras and stuff. That way I can actually see how it all works, you know, just have a little fun with it. That's all I'm going to do. Just going to have a little fun with it. Also, the Elite Force is there just to kind of screw with people because, yes, I know ASG and Elite Force are technically not the same company, but they both use Wingun, so why not? You know, just to kind of screw with people. Moving on. A little classic here and a little sad. I've got, of course, the KWC Luger right here. And the sad thing is because, well, the sear system, or at least the catch that actually keeps that basically resets after you pull a trigger, is kind of messed up. Sad to say. But I did actually talk to a couple of people online. I've looked around, and basically the BB gun version, the .177 caliber version of this, the lower is still basically the same as the 6mm version of it. So all I gotta do is take the lower off that, put the 6mm version on top, and just go from there basically. And because they're both basically the same thing, it should, in theory, work. And if not, that's fine. I can always just sell it. But yeah, I have to be careful with it now because, again, it's worked for me for years, I'm not gonna lie, but it is a sad day to see this thing be the way it is and just not work. So yeah, I'm going to try and get that one day so this can be fixed, or I may get a Weed Tech version or a green gas Luger in the future just so I can run that. Haven't decided yet. But yeah, this is now nothing more than a wall hanger piece, a display piece, and somewhat functional prop. Somewhat functional because, again, the catch sadly does not work. Moving on. Next up, we got another gun that I got in the trade, this time from my best friend over at Sector 9, or at least the guy over there who actually does a lot of cool stuff. We'll keep his name out of the video for his own sake, as well as, you know, anonymity type deal. But yeah, this, of course, is the MMP40 Short and Weak. Yes, I'm still going to continue doing what it is because, let's face it, 40 Smith & Wesson is... It's not a good caliber. Don't get me wrong, it's a fun caliber. It's not it's just the same as 9mm, basically. I'm good. Anyway, moving on. I do actually am kind of happy with it. I'm definitely going to run it one day when I can. Just be like, hey, you know, I can type deal. It's fully ambidextrous on the slide release and the safety itself, which again is actually kind of nice. I put the UTG light on here just because, hey, it's the only thing that actually works, more or less. The other thing, though, is that I don't have a magazine for this, but sadly the magazines are pretty friggin' expensive. Like, Jesus Christ, why are they that expensive? So yeah, if you guys want to help out with acquiring magazines, please consider checking out the links down below. Moving on, of course, this thing is kind of cool. I definitely do like it. I will admit I have a bit of a soft spot for 40 cal, for 40 short and weak, just because of high point, honestly. Because I've shot a 40 cal high point before, and that gun was fun, I'll be honest, and just green, like straight up OD green. So yeah, no, I'll be honest, I kind of like it. But if I want to get an actual like handgun that will act like a anyway, moving on. All right, it's my 2 World War time. I have, of course, a KWC 1911 Springer. Or no, non-KWC. It says it's made in China, so it's probably just the Chinese knockoff. But it is a basically cyber gun Colt M1911A1. From that, we upgrade to, of course, a Vickers Tactical 1911, which sadly is kind of missing its safety, but it still works, still fires. But yeah, this is a fully licensed Vickers 1911. It's basically like you would see in Modern Warfare 1, and yeah, it's actually kind of fun to shoot, I'm not going to lie. Still going to run it, you know, even with the missing safety. Don't know if I can get another safety to get in. It's WeTech, I believe. I believe it's a WeTech. I'm not 100% sure. All I know is that it's actually fun, really good, and yeah, it's just a lot of fun. But from there, we then get to a couple of 2011s. We have a Tokyo Marui Speedy Boy Split Side 1911 in 45 ACP, which is actually kind of nice, very good, very fun. And then from there, we also have the John Wick 1911, which is this little bad boy here. Ironically enough, one is missing the rear sight, one is missing its front sight. And you know what? That's fine. They're both friggin' pre-owned, so it's whatever. Not able to do that because of the fact that it's missing its rear sight. But you know what? It's a fun little thing. The only thing I will admit, though, is that this one has its own issues. This one does not. It's a weird thing, I'll be honest. But running them HPA will definitely fix that. So yeah, these two are going to be ran on HPA because I got that adapter, and basically, hey, I'm going to see how they both perform. But moving on to my 2 World War 1911s, because, you know, 45 ACP, because they don't make a 46. Now, for those who are Fallout fans, I also have something that's kind of fun. I have a, well, I actually did a review on this. This is the 6RP226 by KWC. It's a very nice little Springer, actually really good. It's pink, and it's just a lot of fun. It legitimately is. Moving on. The only other Springer I have is one that I've had for a very, very long time when I first got started into Airsoft. And that is the, ironically enough, this was back when Walmart still sold Airsoft guns, the actually fully licensed IMI Desert Eagle 44 Magnum pistol. This is just one of those things of, this was back in my tinkering days. You can actually find the video where I installed the longer barrel into it. And yeah, it is, if I had the magazine still, this one doesn't have a magazine no more, but if I had the magazine for this, I'm pleasantly sure that it'd probably reach a little further. But yeah, it's an interesting little thing. It still works. It's clear, so you can actually see all the little bits and bobs. Sadly, the hammer only does that now. Still a nice little effect, though. Like, it legit is a nice little effect. So, you know, just one of those things. But then we move on to the last little bit in the collection. And this one is one that I will probably never take to the field, out of fear of it breaking and its actual significance in airsoft history. The gun I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen, the replica, the one thing that legitimately has the most iconic of icons, especially in the airsoft world, is, of course, the MAC-10 Mac 11. This is, of course, the TF11, meaning that this is replicating the more lower caliber Mac 11, unlike the Mac 10, which is in 45 ACP. This one is more along the lines of being in a smaller caliber. And yes, this is Tactical Force. This is a OG thing. I got this from, of course, my buddies over at Sector 9 in a trade alongside that Glock. And let me tell you now, I am... I am very, very much so happy to see how I can get this going. Granted, there is actually a CO2 green gas Mac 11, Mac 10 on Amazon right now that legitimately I would love to review and grab. And this one, like I said, I'll probably never take to the field just because the fact of, again, this is a piece of airsoft history. I cannot, in good faith, take this out there. Even like at most, I probably will just do a simple, like, target. Like, I'll probably just take it to my outdoor range and just kind of show its effectiveness, how fast it can go, just the absolute 80s love of it. It is a very, 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 very just... God, I love it. I really do. I just... I cannot get enough of that. I really can't. It is just... Yes, this ain't the original, like, green strap you see in a lot of the Macs, but it's as close as I can get. It's elastic. You know, it'll at least somewhat mitigate the recoil, but Jesus Christ, if this thing ain't just absolute balls of fun cool. Like... God. Anyway. I'm sorry for just kind of gushing there. Again, this is a piece of airsoft history. I remember Jarek for Dragon actually talking about this in a video once, and I fell in love with it, and I wanted one ever since, only to find out they're no longer being made or produced, and they are now rare to find in the airsoft world. Piece of airsoft history, ladies and gentlemen. Piece of airsoft history. Anyway. That is my sidearms, actually. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you liked what you saw. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, I've been AirsoftAL. And if you want to help out the channel, consider checking out the links down below. If you want a cool grenade, check out the link down below to upgrade your grenade game. And if you want some tracers, well, check out the tracer link down below, as well as other cool things as well from our friends over at T238. And, yeah. Till next time, ladies and gentlemen, I've been AirsoftAL. And I shall see you all in the next video. Till next time. Later.